They charge us, we charge them less. So how can anybody be upset? They will be, because we never charge anybody anything.
President Trump's tariffs have been the cornerstone of his global trade policy since he returned to the White House, starting in April with a blanket 10% tax on international imports and steeper rates on Canada, Mexico and China. But 3 judges at the Court of International Trade have unanimously ruled he misused an emergency power when he did so. Since then, Trump has imposed and then paused a series of punitive tariffs as he tries to force firms to move their manufacturing bases to the US, a policy that's earned a new nickname.
Mr. President, Wall Street analysts have coined a new term called the taco trade. They're saying Trump always chickens out on your tariff threats, and that's why markets are higher this week. What's your response to that?
I kick out?
Chicken out.
Oh, isn't that nice? Chicken out. I've never heard that. You mean because I reduced China from 145% that I set down to 100 and then down to another number?
President Trump's sweeping global tariffs blocked. A court says he overstepped his authority.
News of the tariff ruling gave Japan's stock market a boost, the Nikkei closing at a 2-week high. But traders and manufacturers in the UK and around the world are still waiting to see how the White House will react. Meanwhile, Elon Musk, who was brought in to make sweeping cuts to US spending, has announced he's leaving his temporary role heading up the Department of Government Efficiency. A day earlier, he took a swipe at Trump's budget bill that he says will increase the federal deficit. As he tries to balance the books, Trump's tariffs remain in place. But for how long? Martha Fairley, ITV News.
What does this mean for ours and the deal we made with the US? Our economics editor Joel Hills is at the Bank of England this lunchtime. Joel, what's been the response so far?
Well, this legal ruling appears to disarm President Trump of the tariff stick that he has been using to beat concessions out of countries, the UK included, but also China and the European Union. As things stand, the tariff rate of 10% that has been applied to all US imports and the reciprocal tariff rate many other countries face, which is much higher, is illegal, and in theory President Trump will have to unwind them over the next 10 days. In practice, the Trump administration is saying it will appeal, and a higher court may take a different view, of course. So that may explain why the market reaction, the reaction of many politicians, has been quite cautious so far today. What does it mean for the UK economy as a whole? Well, Trump's tariff war was never a game changer for us. It was massively, massively unhelpful, as the Bank of England made clear earlier this month. So if tariffs are cancelled, it would be welcome, but wouldn't transform our economic prospects. For certain sectors, though, there is a lot at stake here. The car industry, the steel industry says, look, the tariff deal with the United States the government announced 3 weeks ago still has not been signed. Every car we send to the United States still has this tariff of 25% imposed on it for the foreseeable. We need to get that deal over the line. Trump's trade policy has always appeared messy, chaotic, incoherent. This morning it appears even more ragged, and he's even less in control of it.